Good evening, my name is Fiona Fouhy and I am from the Alimentary Pharmabiotic Centre in UCC. And tonight I want you to sit back and listen as I inform you all about antibiotic attack, antibiotics and infant gut bacteria. So what does Downton Abbey have in common with those bacteria living in your gut? Well, quite a lot actually. If you think of the staff of Downton Abbey, generally they go unseen, but without them the whole thing will fall apart. So too for your gut bacteria. Trillions of them living deep within your gut are absolutely vital, but I bet you don't cast them a thought. From digesting your food to fighting off pathogens or even metabolizing toxins, every day they are vital to your health and functioning. So what goes wrong if you disturb this balance? Well, you could end up with increased risk of obesity, mental health disorders, or even diabetes. So what can affect these? Many factors have been shown to affect the bacteria living in your gut, from diet, lifestyle, activity, genes. But for me, it's antibiotics that we really need to focus on. They can really wreak havoc with those trillions of bacteria. So what happens? You take those antibiotics to kill off the bad guys causing an infection. But what happens in your gut is they can cause weed-like pathogens, the bad guys, to spurt and become dominant, much to the demise of the more beneficial bacteria, your lactobacilli, your bifidobacteria. So you have your dominant ones, and then you have your poor good guys getting killed off. So what's happening? This is what I want to know, and I want to know this specifically in infants. So we asked what bacteria change, how do they change, when do you see the effects, what can we do about it, and why are these happening? And why do the bad guys have the advantage over the good guys? These are the kind of questions we want to know, and there were very little answers specifically when we looked to infants. There's a lot of research on adults and on animals, but very little when it came to the poor babies. So our study focused specifically on this topic, antibiotic treatment and the infant gut. So we recruited infants who were treated with 2 different types of antibiotics. They very kindly donated the contents of their nappies, and from this we extracted DNA. We looked at all the bacteria present in the gut using this DNA, and using the most sophisticated techniques on the market, 454 parasequencing. It's a really expensive and really fancy barcode scanner really, like your supermarket. It looks at all of this DNA and it says who's there and how much of them are there. The bad news is when you give antibiotics to infants, you see a surge in the really bad guys, the E. coli, the salmonella, but the poor good guys get killed off. So for the rest of my thesis, I went on and I want to know what's happening, how are they doing it? And really what we found was the bad guys have specific genes, little bits of DNA that allow them to chop up, avoid, eliminate, destroy the antibiotic, but the good guys don't have them. So I'm asking you to remember one thing tonight. Balance is the key to life. And if you remember this, you'll go forth and for every antibiotic, we'll discover a probiotic. Thank you very much.